All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Beckley Wrestling Show. Today we got U20 World Silver Medalist, the number one pound for pound girl in the country. We got Audrey Jimenez. How you doing, girl?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good, real good. I appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule and just joining us. We're real excited and been looking forward to it for sure.
Of course, me too.
How's it been since you got home with that silver medal?
It's been pretty good. Thankfully, I didn't have to catch up too much on school because I have a pretty schedule this year, so that's been really nice. So, I got back and then just had to start getting ready for who's number one. So it's been kind of go, go, go since getting back.
Absolutely.
But now, after I'm back from Senior Worlds and being a partner over there, I have like 3 weeks here to just chill and train and stuff. So that's nice.
Awesome. Like you went over there, was it like just with everybody, or was it like specifically for Sarah? Or if it was it kind of like help out in any way possible for the senior world trip?
So it was specifically for Dom Parish,
Oh,
and
nice.
then also just to help out with whoever else needed anything.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, we'll before we jump in, like get late in it. Like what first led you to a wrestling mat? Like what first got Audrey on a mat?
So I started wrestling when I was 11, but before that I was playing softball for like 7 years because I started when I was super young. And then we were just on a break after season for softball. So my Theo, he invited me to his jiu-jitsu gym because he had just opened 10th Planet like in the area. So he invited me for like a week and just to see how I would like it, and I ended up really really loving it. And I think I was more drawn to like the individual sport and that aspect of wrestling and or just jiu-jitsu in general. So once I started doing jiu-jitsu for a couple months, he like introduced more wrestling to me, and I just fell in love with wrestling. So I like jumped around from club to club until I found Sunnyside, and then I've been there ever since. So
Awesome. That's so you were 11 when you started?
yeah,
So you've been wrestling for like 5, 6 years.
yeah, almost 7 years, I think. Yeah,
And you're literally the pound for pound best girl in the country. Like that's just impressive to me. Like usually it's
yeah.
like, hey, I started when I was 5 or 6. Like that's usually what I hear. So like to hear that you've done this in such a short amount of time and like looking at your resume and the state
Hmm.
titles and you're a senior this year. You just started your senior year?
Yeah,
Awesome. Well, congrats too. Last year, gonna finish up.
yeah.
That's got to be exciting for you, huh?
It is. It really is. Because last year I was actually planning on graduating early. So, like during season, I was like, oh, this is my last tournament. This is my last, everything. And then last minute, I was like, yeah, I'm just going to stay for my senior year. So, it's nice to be able to like do it all over again. So, I'm really excited.
Absolutely, got to get that third state title, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. How did and speaking of it, we'll kind of touch on that too. Like getting that first one, how was that feeling for you? I mean, and just I mean, you guys are Sunnyside's known, out in Arizona. Like it's a very well known school for just putting out great wrestlers on the men's side of things, and it was just so it wasn't a shock to hear that's where you were coming out of because like they just pump out just phenomenal just just wrestlers, just great athletes and great futures. And uh, but when you first got that first state title, what was how was that feeling for
Honestly, it was kind of weird because it was during the whole COVID thing. And so our girls team only had two girls on it. It was me and Tati Hernandez. So it was a little weird just because like of everything going on, but it was really exciting too because that was like one of the bigger things I did
you? Absolutely,
in high
yeah.
school. Um, so it was really cool, and then being able to grow our girls team from that point is like really like exciting to see because it's growing so much.
So you only had two girls on the like that qualified for state, or just on the team period?
Just on the team period.
Really? So what's now coming into your senior year? What do you look at? How many you guys have?
I want to say we have like almost 20,
Really?
if not more. Yeah, so a lot of girls around the same weight.
That's
We're
all.
missing, yeah, we're missing a couple heavier weights, I think, but yeah, we've definitely grown.
And I guess with you just catching on so quick and like you doing these amazing things, two state titles, U17 team member, U20 silver medalist twice, like what do you, I guess, chalk it up to like what really got it for you? Like, you know what I mean? Was it Sunnyside, like training there? Was it just training at different gyms? Like, what made it really click for you? And just because something did to where it was like, she gets it. Like the lights are on, and you just started, just came out and just started wrecking people. It's definitely been fun as a fan. Like, just it's been awesome to watch because at such a young age, you just gosh, your future's so bright. Like, and when you put that USA singlet on, like, it's awesome for all of us because you're representing the whole country. So,
Mhm.
like, we're all huge fans. So it's like awesome. But what really went into like, man, what made Audrey like that just that hit home and was like, all right, I get it.
I think, well, I've always been a pretty quick learner. And I think from the start, felt like I was so behind. Like, I feel like ever since I started, so many people were already like 7 years into wrestling because they started super
Right.
young. So I felt like I've always been behind, and I've always like had that feeling that I need to work extra hard just to catch up to everybody. Um, and I mean, I feel like God has also put so many people in my lives like at the right like exact time, like they needed to be there. So I'm really grateful that all the coaches I've met and been around, and even the training partners, have really helped me like get to that next level. And I feel like ever since I've started, I've improved every year. So just like that constant learning and gaining knowledge and just gaining all these experiences has really helped me, I guess, do what I've been able to do.
Awesome. I love that answer, especially, and it seems like a lot of the people that I've talked to having those people in your corner and just having that faith that you have like it's big in my life also like so like I'm super pumped to hear that was a big part of you growing and just God putting the right people in your life and
Mm-hmm.
having that corner that you have. And I believe like and honestly 90% of it it's like nobody can do this. It's like like people say like whenever you have a kid I forget what saying is like it takes a tribe or it takes like a team to raise it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of like that with wrestling also. I feel like the more I do these interviews and just get to know a lot of you it just seems like it really takes a really good community and just to have a great support behind you to be able to get to the level that you guys get to. So
Yeah, it really does. And yeah, although like wrestling is an individual sport, like my parents, my school, my team, like they've all like helped me like so much just in this whole journey.
awesome. And that's a blessing because not everybody can say that. So I mean that's and the way that you speak, I'm gonna say that your parents did one heck of a job because you carry I to sit here and think I'm talking to a 17-year-old like you carry yourself very well and it shows on the mat, it shows off the mat, and that's a big reason why I do this is because I want people to see like we get to watch you and like go out there and just do what you do best, and it's such a beautiful thing to watch. And it's kind of like what's she like off the mat? You know what I mean? Like let's see. And I think you're going to have a lot of gold medals, and you're going to have your future so bright. Because I've never seen honestly just somebody at such a young age be so dominant. Like in my opinion, like. And I think like this next generation of girls is like somebody that can really run with like Japan, like because
Mhm.
Japan's always kind of been that one. And speaking of that, like with your running with Japan at the U20s, um, for you, like what do you got to I guess to get over? I don't want to call it a hump because you're a sport, you're a U20 world silver medalist, so there's not much of a hump there. But to be able to compete with like the Japans and stuff like well, really just Japan because what would you guys gotta do to get on that level to be able to take it to the next level to start being that team that everybody else is chasing?
I honestly feel like it's a mental block. I feel like most of us have the skills and the techniques in wrestling, and we have what we need physically. But I feel like since Japan has been on top for so long, that it's kind of just that known thing that, okay, Japan's probably going to win, or Japan's good at this, Japan's quick, stuff like that. Um, I feel like, yeah, sometimes there's a mental block. Like last year, I wrestled Japan in the finals at U20 in Bulgaria, and I like going into the match, I was like, I have nothing to lose really. I bumped up age groups and stuff, but coming off the mat, I was like, okay, maybe I gave her a little bit too much respect, or I didn't wrestle my best out there, but if I didn't hold myself back for some reason, and like I'm saying, that mental block, then I would have been able to score on her. So I feel like just getting over that the idea that Japan is good or better than us in any way is holding us back, and just looking
So you
at
think
them
it's
as
more of like a mindset than
yeah,
anything, like
yeah,
I like that. I like that. And honestly, like I feel like you're right though, because even for like outsiders looking in, it's you, even us, like you kind of expect Japan has ran. It's kind of like Russia, like or Iran with the men's side of things. Like
yeah.
Japan on the women's side of things has just been, but you like it's been steadily just
Hmm.
like, you girls just never seem like you. Everybody just keeps growing and getting better and better. And I mean, you were sitting at Final X this year at 17 years. Like it's a wrestling one of the greatest women wrestler. How was Final X? Like how was that experience?
It was really cool. I feel like when I was there, I didn't take it all in. Well, I took it all in, but I didn't really feel it in the moment, like that I was actually at Final X until like I was in the match. And I remember like our second match is when I walked out first, and like just having to like stand there waiting for Sarah to walk in, and just like looking at all the people was pretty wild, because there was so
Yeah.
many people there, and I mean the whole like environment was just so wild. It was a pretty neat experience.
And just for like put myself in your shoes at your age, like it had to be a surreal moment because like you're sitting here, you're two matches away from going to the world, like the senior world championships, and it's so well deserved too because like there's no question that you have to be putting in so much work to get to where you've gotten so fast because like you said, people have like you said you even felt 5, 6 years behind. You started at 11 instead of 5, 6, 7 years old. So you've had to you definitely have had to be putting the work in. So it's awesome even as fans to see it pay off and see you and be able to go up against a Sarah. And to be honest with you, going into it, like I know she has a lot more experience, but say I mean the goal's Paris next year, right?
Yes, it is.
So with adjustments, say you get down to it and it comes down to you and Sarah again. And Sarah Hildebrand, I mean, shout out to her, amazing. She's a great person, great wrestler. She's represented the USA very well. Um, what adjustments would you have to make? Do you feel like so that you could be that represent to head to the Olympics and head to Paris? What would you have to do to, I guess, in your mind, to be able to run with Sarah?
Yeah, so even after wrestling her at Final X and wrestling her a few times at the OTC, I feel like my main issue is just getting through her and getting through that length to get to my shots or score. So I feel like the main thing is just getting angles and keeping it real simple, and just finding a setup that would really crack her down, and offer me the best opportunities to score on her.
Well, nicely, I like it. I like it. Like your head's in the right place, and I feel like you have such a good mindset, though. Like I really do. Like especially for like I keep bringing up your age, and it's just because it's so to be at the level that you're at and competing with these people and bringing home silver medals, and uh, it's gotta be unreal. Like it, it's we're proud of you. I know that girl. Like we're definitely we're it's just as a country as like a fan. Like I'm very proud of you. And I mean this is the first time we've ever communicated, but it's been you gave us all a heck of a ride to watch. So it's definitely appreciated, and we appreciate the hard work you put in and everything that you've done. So. I
Thank
think
you.
the future's super bright. Yes, man. And who's number one? I mean, because man, you've hit all these. Like, I mean, everything I bring up's like we're talking state championships. We're talking final X's. We're talking worlds. We're at who's number one. Like you've done like such incredible things in such a more short amount of time. And like, and not even the U20 silvers. Like you've done that twice. I mean, at 16 and 17 years old, like it's just mind-boggling. Honestly, like it's awesome. But you and even I mean, you brought home with that the at that what was it, the Spain Grand Prix?
Oh yeah.
Wasn't it the bronze?
Uh-huh. Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, just amazing things. And but who's number one? How do you feel with the outcome of who's number one?
I was pretty happy with the outcome. I mean, I got out there, and my coach and I didn't really game plan too much. I just made it my focus to circle a bit more in that match because I feel like that would really shut her down. But I was really happy with my performance. I feel like I had fun with the whole experience, and sometimes I let the nerves like get the best of me, and at like tournaments or even at Worlds, sometimes like my I feel like my nerves kind of ruin the whole moment that I'm there. So I tried doing the best I could at who's number one, and I had a lot of fun over there.
Good. Good. It definitely was fun to watch, and I mean nobody deserves to be there more than you do. You know what I mean? Like you're definitely it's well deserved, and it was. I'm glad that you got that phone call. But I mean, if you're gonna put on who's number one, you have to be there.
Yeah.
So it was definitely exciting, that's for sure. So what's next? Like, so say we finish the season, you get your state championship, right? You get your third. Is college, or are we just gonna just jump straight into uh, heading for world championships and Olympic championships?
Yeah, so I'm planning to do it all, like all I can. I really want to go to college. I want to get a good education and set myself up for the future. Because my coach is always reminding me that wrestling won't be here forever. Like it gives me a lot of opportunities to um, get to like special places. Even like getting to college. But one day it's gonna end, so I really have to make sure like I know what I'm gonna do afterwards. So yeah, I want to go to college for engineering. I'm not sure which like specifics yet, but also make sure I keep training for the Olympics or the world teams and stuff like that.
Absolutely. So we don't have a college picked out yet, though. We're still debating with commitments yet.
Yeah, still debating. Looking at a few colleges right now, but we'll see.
Awesome. Have you went on any visits or anything like that, or just kind of just taking some phone calls and kind of seeing where everything lands?
So I went on a visit last year to Columbia, and that was really fun. I feel like an Ivy League is really, it's going to be pretty difficult, but it's also, a pretty nice. It would be nice to be in my journey, and I feel
Absolutely.
like, that's a great accomplishment as well to go to an Ivy League school. But then I'm also visiting North Central next month, so I'm excited for that.
Absolutely. I mean, because I can when you I mean, engineering on top of your wrestling goals and the things you have accomplished already, like, and even your mindset is like knowing, hey, wrestling ain't forever. I, I actually just did. He ended up choosing Army. His name's Ben Pazook, and I whenever we talked about why he chose Army, you kind of have like you just don't see a lot of people are like, hey, the Iowas or the Penn States, the Ohio States, like or whatever the case may be, the big school wrestling schools, which they have good academics too. It's not a knock, but it was just he really wanted to well, you he thought just like you did, like wrestling's not going to be forever. I really want to have a future afterwards. So he ended up choosing to go to Army whenever he could have, chose any school he wanted to. He was a phenomenal wrestler, four-time state finalist, great kid, and you just I love the way you just answered that reminded me a lot of it, and it's just you don't see that a lot out of a 17-year-old like that they're thinking, hey, this even especially whenever you're doing the things you're doing on a wrestling mat, like right, like usually it's that's life, like this is what we eat, breathe, we sleep, but this is what we're gonna do and try to get the best of it. But you're you're thinking even further ahead for your future. I respect that very much, and I think wherever you do land, I think they're going to get one heck of a wrestler and be happy. And I think they're they're probably getting a good student also with it to be a good engineer, which we always use more of. That's for sure.
Mhm. Yeah.
So that's exciting to hear, though. So I hope all those things go well for you and
Thank
you
you.
where you want to land. And so, I mean, outside of that, though, like when when I sit back and I look at your whole thing as a like in all right, because I think you got a great mindset. So I'm gonna kind of stick with that and kind of shoot to the U.S. Open. Whenever you're in that U.S. Open and you go down 8-0 with like a minute 30 to go,
Mhm.
and where's your head at? Because I believe I don't know it's 8-0. She gets a takedown, or like it's sometime in the second. It was 6-0 at the end of the first.
Yeah.
I just watched it today, and then she gets a takedown. Where when you get back up and you're down 8-0, this is your trip to go. So, how was your mindset to get back in it and come back and it was an unbelievable. I watched it like 3 times a day, like because it was
Yeah.
like I forgot about it until I rewatched it, and then it was like this is
Mhm.
insane. And but how did you come back from an 8-0 deficit in such a big match in such a big? I mean, you're on one of the biggest platforms to get you to a world team.
Mhm. Yeah, I feel like just continuing to wrestle and never like slowing down my pace and just always wrestling to the next point. Because honestly, like around like the first period, like towards the end of the first period, I was like on the verge of giving up just because it was just like she was so strong. It was like I felt like I couldn't really do anything. Um, but then, my coach just always tells me wrestle to the next point, wrestle to the next point, and I saw she got tired, so that gave me like an extra push as well. So I picked up my pace and I just kept scoring. And it's funny because we weren't even planning on going to the U.S. Open at the beginning. And then my coach was like, "Why not? Just like go get the matches." So I feel like having not having that pressure and going into the US Open like, oh, I want to make it to Final X. I just went into the US Open just hoping to get really good matches. So I feel like even that helped take the pressure off and just helped me focus on just wrestling.
Absolutely. And for anybody that hasn't seen it, like they need to go see it because I mean it was against Alyssa Lampy,
Mm-hmm.
and it just one of the best matches I've ever seen. And what an amazing challenge too at the end. Like shout out to your coach, like kudos, like salute, because like that was an amazing challenge. Because I mean there at the end it was like I didn't know how far back they were gonna take the challenge because it was like all right, so she gets a takedown the reversal. So is it one? But honestly, whose two was it? Like early, like just if they haven't seen it, who's ever watching this, they need to go and check that out whenever we put this out because it's an amazing match and the way you came back and just being down 8-0, a minute 30 to go, you hit a lace, you get a takedown, you hit a lace, and I believe you get two turns with the lace and it takes it to 6-8, right? And then
Uh,
the last 25 seconds or something like that was like, or did you tie it up? I think you might have
yeah, I
tied it up and
tied
took
it
the
up.
lead.
Yeah, I
Yep.
tied it up. It was 8-8, and then yeah, like I said, I just keep
And
going to score. Even though I was up on criteria, I shot in, and she got like a one of the roll through tilts. But then obviously I knew I was down, so I tried coming up for that takedown, and thankfully they called it the two instead of just the one reversal. So
I thought that honestly, I was I was with them. Like because it could have went either way. Like, but that's
mhm.
why like I think that challenge was so huge. But it, I mean, in the right person represented. I mean, Alyssa's a heck of a competitor, and uh, just I mean, and even shout out to her because you guys put on one heck of a show. Honestly, I think it was the best match out of every U.S. Open that I got to watch this year. I mean, it was phenomenal. And then for you to come back and just I got 25 seconds to go. It's back to 10-10, and then it was like, is it what is going on? So
Mhm.
just an awesome match, girl. Like, and you never quit, and you didn't, and it was the definition of just heart and just your coach has definitely got. you having the right mindset to where, like you said, and you could tell it seemed like in the very beginning that she had like a little more strength. I believe even the
Mhm.
commentator for Flo just was like, man, like she just seems to have a little bit more power. But then it was just like you kept your composure, you stayed cool, and once you got a little wore down, it was just you were, and it was quick. It was like that's
Yeah.
one thing about freestyle I love. Like if I love folk style too, but like it was just like with one takedown, like hit a lace and you're up by
Mhm.
criteria. So it was
Yeah, anything can happen. Yeah.
right and real quick like so.
Mhm.
I definitely enjoyed it to the fullest. That's for sure. And like you said, and it got you to a level to where at your age to be wrestling Sarah Hildebrandt like in at Final X to where I feel like it's just preparing you for such such great things. And I'm excited for it, and I'm sure you are too, because
Yeah.
I know, gosh, I mean, after this season, I think I'm ready for next year to see how Paris goes. Because honestly, I want to see you get another shot at it, because I mean, for the best of three with Sarah, what was it, 11-0 and 8-0 or
Yeah,
something like it.
something like that. I think it
It-
was the first match was like 6-0, 8-0, and then the second match she teched me, but yeah.
and that's no. And I don't even mean to bring up like because you have so many positive things that like I don't want to like seem like I'm bringing up like trying to like pull out a negative, but it's nothing to be like I want to see you get another shot and see like what you the changes like that you've made, and just like you said, like trying to work on trying to break that defense and get through that length that she has, and just breaking through her experience that she
Mhm.
has, just all of that. I mean, and I believe if somebody can do it, it's you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Thank you.
yeah, absolutely. And I definitely want to absolutely thank you for taking this 30 minutes. And I'm sorry I even held you up for 30, and just joining
Oh,
me
no
and just
worries.
talking about your career and just where you're
Mhm.
heading. I really do think that you have such a bright future, bro. I'm super excited for you. You got a good head on your shoulders. You're heading in the right direction, and I can't wait to see you get after it for Paris.
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate it, and yeah, I'm super excited as well.
Yeah, absolutely. But let's go get that state title first. Let's go get that
Yeah,
third one.
yeah.
One thing
Well,
at a time. I'm
U23 is
jumping ahead.
first, so yeah, we'll
Oh my
see.
gosh, you're going to U23s too?
Yeah, it's in about 3 weeks, so
That's right. That's in what, beginning of November, right?
end of October. So I think I wrestle like the 25th or something. Yeah,
God, you just don't quit with it. So
yeah,
you're so
yeah.
during season. So you got season won't have started by then for high school yet, right? Or will you be wrestling high school season started and while doing U23s, or are you kind of just like, hey, well,
So our season starts right after. So like once I get back, our season starts. Our first tournament isn't until like December 1st, so I can make that transition a little later. But even right after U23s, I got the spot for the Pan Am Games. So
yeah,
I'll be going to Chile for that. So it's a lot of matches, but I love keep on getting all these matches and
absolutely. Yeah,
experiences.
because it's only going to get you better too, and especially for Paris next year. Especially, I think U23s is going to be huge for you. Like that, I might be more excited about that because you got. I mean, U20s. You're taking home silver, but like when you add 3 more years experience, some of these girls are going to be on the senior level. Some of them will be at the Olympics. So like, I'm excited to like. I didn't know you were going to U23s.
Yeah,
How I missed that, I apologize because I usually try to do
no
my
worries.
homework real heavy. So, but like, no, I'm glad you brought it up. Because like that's that's exciting. I mean, it's a different level of competition too. Like, I mean, you feel ready for it. I mean, as ready as you can be with it coming up in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, as ready as I can be. I mean, I feel like I've been working. I feel like I've always been improving. So I'm really excited. Just I feel like I also do a lot better when I have absolutely nothing to lose. So wrestling like up in a division is really helping me out because I just go out there and wrestle, and hopefully take more risk because I feel like a lot of times I hold myself back. So hopefully I could focus on taking more risk and just
Yeah,
finding that flow.
absolutely. Let it fly, girl. Because whenever you do, I feel like that's when you're at your best. Because like I feel like you might come across somebody you're going to at U23s because they have 6 years on you. Some of them's going to be 22, 23.
Yeah.
That like that Alyssa Lampy that has that strength, and like you keep doing you and keeping that mindset that you had in that match. I think you're going to come away with exactly what you want.
Hmm. Yeah.
So
Hopefully.
you will. I'm telling you, like you have something that I mean, you're 17, getting ready to go wrestle U23s. Like that's I think it's a really good preparation to get you
Mhm.
heading for Paris. And I'm not sure of all the things that they're doing for qualifications to get to Paris because like I know that there's some, I guess, just to get you in, like how to get to the finals. Is there a final X?
So no, it's pretty much you have to qualify for the Olympic trials through, let's say you're a national champ in college, or I think if you're a medalist this past year. So since I medaled at U20s, I qualify for the Olympic trials. There's also like a U.S. Open or U.S. Nationals in like December 15th, I think. So you can also qualify there. But it's just a tournament. Sarah's sitting in the finals because she medaled at Senior Worlds. So yeah, whoever wins that tournament going into or go at the Olympic trials meets Sarah in the finals.
For a best of three again?
Yes. Hmm.
I like that though. So really, it's just get yourself qualified for the trials through meddling through something, or like you said, like being a fun, like NCAA's like top three or top two or something. And so that's nice though. At least you ain't got to worry. You already got your qualifications. So like,
Yeah.
let it fly. 23. Let it fly.
Mhm.
You're already there. See what you got. Like
Yeah.
I'm that's actually because it's not like it's on the line. Like man, I got like because I feel like it takes a weight off. I mean. I'm not sure. I mean, I'm looking at it through your eyes. Like, man, it's got to take a little weight off. Like, hey, I can let it go a little more here because I've already got it. I'm already sitting at the world team trials. So let's
Mhm.
just wrestle Audrey's match and go get a gold medal.
Oh yeah, yeah. It definitely takes a lot of weight off, and as long as I have that mentality, I could just go out there and, like you said, let it fly.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
definitely like I promise you we'll be watching and rooting for you. That's for sure. Like, cause I mean now you're a part of the family. You're a part of the Beckley Wrestling family now, girl. Like so after you win that gold, I'm probably gonna be in them DMs like, yo, we gotta do another one now because I
Yeah.
gotta talk to this gold medalist.
Hmm. Yeah,
So
for sure.
but we definitely wish you the best of luck and we'll definitely keep in touch and I definitely appreciate you taking the time to sit down, talk with me. And I know it's late and you got a lot going on, so it just you being able to sit down with me and do this. I honestly believe this in my heart that like I'm talking to one of the next great wrestlers of our of our time. So I think that the sky's the limit and the future's so bright for you. So just keep doing what you're doing, keep God close to you, keep that support and family close to you, and tell your parents thank you because
Mhm.
that they did a heck of a job raising an amazing young woman, and I can't like I said I can't say it enough. Can't wait to see what the future holds for you.
Yeah, thank you. I really do appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am. Not a problem. Not a problem. But you have yourself a good night and be safe, be careful, stay healthy,
I
and
will.
let's go get that gold at U23s.
Got it. Yeah.
All right. You have a good night, and
You as
we'll talk
well.
soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Audrey Jimenez. I gotta say it right. She even told me before we started recording because I didn't want to chop it because I watched a bunch of flows and a couple of people had said it differently. There was Jimenez, but anyway, it's just wow, what a phenomenal 17-year-old. I mean, just the way that she carries herself, just the way that I mean, she's only been doing it since she's 11. She's the number one pound for pound girl in the country in high school, and just if you get a chance and you haven't seen it, go to YouTube, whatever, and watch the U.S. Open finals where she wrestles Elisa Lampy. Yeah, amazing. It it just such a. It shows who she is, in my opinion, with the heart. She has just the definition of of never quitting and never giving up and just and pushing through because you got a minute 30, you're down eight, and you got final X sitting in front of you, and she went and got it. She went and got it. So I mean, just shout out to her for that because I feel like young men, young women can sit there and watch her and just it's a heck of a person to look up to for our youth too. Um, with her face, with everything she's doing, and looking at her future at such a young age, and uh, just excited for her. I think she's on a great path, and I think she's going to bring the U.S. a lot of golds, which is good for us. You know, I mean, so we're definitely a fan. You know, she puts that USA singlet on. I'm automatically a fan of who's ever wearing it. So definitely excited for it. But we appreciate her joining. Make sure you stay tuned, like, subscribe. Beckley Wrestling, you already know we coming straight at you.